A weak upper level trough of low pressure in Northern California that's going to increase onshore flow late tonight into Saturday. You can see this front is going to start to move through Northern California, bringing some rain into some communities further up north of the Central Coast. Right now, you can see the temperatures are starting to wind down. We're in the 60s out in our inland communities, 70 right now in Santa Maria, 59 in San Luis Obispo, 61 in Isla Vista. We're expecting widespread wind gusts across the Central Coast. We could see wind gusts near 30 miles per hour in Shannon right around 5 p.m. tomorrow, and these wind gusts are going to continue into the early evening hours. Here are the latest weather headlines for tonight. So we are going to see offshore winds increasing later this evening, but we have a wind advisory in place for both San Luis Obispo and Santa Barbara counties. Lastly, we are going to see a warming trend. We're seeing clear conditions at this time. That's going to be the case overnight, but as that front, as you see, starts to travel further down south over the course of the day on Saturday, we're going to see clouds starting to pick up right here on the Central Coast. Again, we're not seeing any rainfall. That's going to stick way up north. After that inside slider starts to move, we're going to see a ridge of high pressure starting to build into the region Sunday into Monday. And that's going to influence the warming trend we're expecting to see. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. You're watching KSBY News. I'm Eduardo Huijon Jr. We begin this evening in the mountains of Montecito, where a biker fell 150 feet over the side of Romero Canyon just this afternoon. This harrowing video shows the moment that officials were able to reach a 59-year-old man who had fallen off of the cliff. It was a somber and heartwarming morning in Atlanta today as Americans gathered to honor the life of former President Jimmy Carter. He passed away on Sunday at 100 years old. Ivan Rodriguez is in Atlanta with more on how his life is being remembered. If you visited the grocery store lately, you may have noticed that the price of your eggs has gone up. It's due to, in part, to the nationwide bird flu outbreak. The U.S. Surgeon General is sounding the alarm this week over alcohol, saying it increases the risk of cancer. He's now calling for alcohol to have warning labels, just like cigarettes. The risks of alcohol use, specifically excessive drinking, are not unknown to San Luis Obispo County. According to a Slow Health Counts survey, the rate of binge drinking in the county is higher than the state average. The most recent report shows that 25% of adults who are 21 and older reported doing it the previous month. The Atascadero Police Department and other government agencies executed 3 search warrants as part of a 6-month investigation into the sale of illegal drugs at Outlaws Bar, Grill, and Casino. Authorities tell me 2 employees from the bar were caught selling and distributing drugs.
That's right. I'm standing near where the Santa Lucia incident took place. As you see behind me, you can see crews are still monitoring the scene.
I'm currently at Club 24 getting a quick workout in on the clock. You know how hard it can be to keep up with your workouts during the holidays. As 2024 slowly wraps up, many people are setting new fitness goals for the new year. I spoke to the club coordinator at Club 24 about easy ways to stick to your fitness goals in the new year.
The Cuesta Conservation Camp, located inside the California Men's Colony, is one of 35 fire camps in the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Participants in the fire camps respond to all types of emergencies, such as fires, floods, and other natural or man-made disasters. Fall is here, and many people are heading to their local pumpkin patch to find their perfect pick. But here at the Solvang Farmers Pumpkin Patch, I'm told people are skipping the line altogether. Now new security measures are being put in place to help put a stop to thefts. A kayaker encountered a gray whale in a bit of an unusual place. The Marine Mammal Center has gotten several calls about the whale inside the harbor. Incarcerated community college students celebrated their graduation at the California Men's Colony State Prison, while other students also earned their high school diploma or GED. The Diversity Coalition San Luis Obispo County distributed 500 red cards like these to more than 20 organizations in the area. The red cards were provided by the Immigrant Legal Resource Center. I'm Eduardo Huijon Jr. in your community of Santa Maria. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security revoked former President Biden's policy that prevented immigration and customs enforcement and customs and border protection in sensitive areas such as schools and churches.
I've already heard personally from neighbors that their children are afraid to go to school right now. Or afraid that they'll go to school and when they return, their parents will be taken.
Hazel Davalos, the co-executive director of Central Coast Alliance United for Sustainable Economy, or CAUSE, says children in the community are worried about stepping on campus as ICE and Border Patrol officials are allowed to enter schools. She says the recent announcement from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security impacts immigrant children in our community.
It's hard to measure the impact of these announcements and these impending policies on immigrant children in our community. In particular, the recent announcement that schools are fair game for ICE raids.
One local resident in Santa Maria shared their thoughts about these changes.
Pues sí me preocupa porque por los niños sobre todo.
Well, it worries me because of the children. They are small minors. Another resident tells me he hasn't seen any ICE or Border Patrol officials in Santa Maria and is not concerned at this time.
No le ha visto a nadie, como está contando que va a echar migración.
I haven't seen anyone. He's been saying he's going to send immigration. I haven't seen them. I reached out to the Santa Maria Joint Union High School District for comment on how they will be handling these changes. Kenny Klein, the public information officer for the district, told me the Santa Maria Joint Union High School District is committed to maintaining a safe and protected environment for all students and staff. All students are entitled to attend school and receive an education irrespective of their immigration status. During the Santa Maria Joint Union High School District's board meeting this week, the board adopted a policy in response to immigration enforcement based on the California Education Code and state law AB 699. Klein stated, due to community concerns about immigration enforcement impacting our youth, the district recently informed students and families about their educational rights. I also reached out to the Santa Maria Bonita Elementary School District, and Superintendent Dr. Darren McDuffie stated, we share a dedication along with other California school districts to safety, respect, and inclusivity regardless of race, immigration status, identity, and personal circumstances.
Klein also told me that the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act of 1974 protects the privacy of all students' educational records. In Santa Maria, I'm Eduardo Huijon Jr., KSBY News. I'm your community reporter, Eduardo Huijon Jr. in Solvang. Several wildfires are burning in Southern California. Thousands of homes destroyed by the flames, and more than 150,000 people have evacuated. I spoke to people from Los Angeles County who chose to evacuate in the Santa Ynez Valley as the devastation from the wildfires continues to impact thousands of lives.
We just needed to get out before we got any evacuation warnings. We came out last night after work, headed out, and got here.
Amy is from Sherman Oaks, and she decided to quickly pack her bags to escape the wildfires surrounding her community in Los Angeles County. The Palisades Fire and Kenneth Fire are not too far from where she lives. She told me it was taking a toll on her and her husband's health.
We're getting a lot of smoke in our apartment. We're on the top floor, so just really, it's just hard. It's been affecting our health. My eyes are watering, burning. My husband's dealing with a health issue as well, so it's just impacting the way he was handling the day.
While thousands of people have been displaced from the wildfires, Amy tells me she has family and friends who have lost everything.
Driving through the thick of it just like really hits you differently. Seeing the burnt hills around you, seeing the black smoke is just, it's really depressing to see that and to know how many. I have lots of friends that lost homes and family members that lost homes, and hearing their stories has been heartbreaking.
Philip Decker is staying in Solvang with his family and says wildfires in California are quite common.
We see this almost every year. There's some fire somewhere, but this time it was in areas that are bad. I saw the Getty Center as the fire's reaching towards the Getty Center, and just thinking of all that art that would get destroyed. All the homes that were in Palisades that were just obliterated.
Jesse is from Los Angeles and says he chose to get away from the area due to the conditions.
We just wanted to get out of the LA area, you know, and since we didn't know this town, I've never been here, so I'm like, oh, let's just go.
In Solvang, I'm Eduardo Huijon Jr., KSBY.